This Spotlight is brought to you by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.
Welcome to Spotlight. I'm your host, Jane Wernette. Today I'm joined by three local nonprofits, NAPA Settlement, Three Fires Council for Scouting America, and the Alive Center. You're watching Spotlight, and joining me now from NAPA Settlement is Raina Tamayo Calabrese. Welcome to the show, Raina.
Thank you, as always. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Nice to have you. So let's kind of ask the obvious question. Why do we have a museum here in Naperville?
You know, Naperville over the years has had a trajectory of some very successful visionaries, and Carolyn Martin Mitchell was among them. She thought about, what legacy do I leave for my family? She took the 212 acres that she had and left it as a perpetual charitable trust for the city of Naperville. For the last 54 years, it has been residents of the city of Naperville that came together to form the Naperville Heritage Society, and they have operated and administered the museum in partnership with the city of Naperville. And I'll tell you, they've been not only successful in making it a national leader, an accredited national leader, but also in the last 5 years, the Naperville Heritage Society has raised approximately $17 million just in 5 years that has come back to our city.
Okay, that's amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and I wonder if she could come back and look around. She probably had no idea this is what it would look like.
That's what a visionary does.
Right?
It is truly amazing.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about why the work that the museum does is important for today.
Well, do you ever wonder where the information for textbooks comes from? Where do researchers go to get their information? Writers who want to write even historical fiction, where do they go? On many of those occasions, it's museums. We hold the story and the primary source of information for everything in our planet, whether it's our plants in our environment or the animals or the people in them. And so the work that we do is imperative throughout time. We are a very important part of education. NAPA Settlement, for example, educates 34,000 school children from 112 different school districts every year. We have introduced STEM and how it relates to agriculture to thousands of students now, just with the Ag Center and since its time. We're also an amazing place for our community to gather. Think of the neighbor nights when you can see your neighbors and you want your friends to come and to enjoy those days. It's an important place for culture and identity and learning, and it is a proven fact that communities that have a strong sense of identity are also thriving throughout time. And certainly, lastly, we are an important part of the economic engine of our city. The last economic impact study that was done for us proved and showed that we essentially have a $4.2 million direct economic impact on the city.
Okay, and that comes through?
That comes through a variety of things. So it comes through people coming into Naperville, but it's also just as important the people that don't leave Naperville. So when they're in downtown Naperville, they will be, for example, going to dinner before they come to a neighbor nights, or they will be putting gas in their cars before they leave or upon arriving. So there's a variety of ways that we can demonstrate that, and also, of course, through the revenue that we bring in.
Right, absolutely. Yes, I was thinking about that peripheral, so I'm glad you talked a little bit about that. Now, you've been very busy over there, very busy. Hageman Thresher Hall, Bank Family Ag Center, the Innovation Gateway. They've really changed what the museum looks like. How do they have an impact on kind of where you're going with the museum and the other buildings that are there?
You know, they have truly opened the door for a new horizon for us. If you think about, for example, the buildings that are right around the Hageman Thresher Hall and the Bank Family Ag Center, they were just there essentially close together geographically, but they didn't tell a story together. But today, The Thresher Hall, for example, the Hageman family were tenant farmers for the halfway house that is there. The Copenhagen Schoolhouse, which is a one-room schoolhouse, was there for the farm families, for the kids, the farmers. The Daniels house that is across from it was owned by Dr. Daniels, who planted medicinal plants in his backyard and used them to treat his patients. So now together, we can talk about the science of agriculture and how it grew up here through the STEM lab in the Ag Center and through the halfway house. We can talk about education through the Copenhagen Schoolhouse. We can talk about medicine and agriculture through the Daniels House. And we could talk about a lot of other things, nutrition, international trade, national economics. The plethora of things that we can do there is amazing. And likewise with Innovation Gateway, one of the most powerful things that we have is the reservoir of the 90,000 artifacts that we have. But there's one problem. You will never see them. And I haven't even had the opportunity to see them myself. But with the Innovation Gateway, we can digitize all this and then join the stories together so that they can tell a broader, bigger, more in-depth story. And they are tools for learning, really. If you do nothing else this summer, go to Napier Settlement. We have a 4-minute video that talks about moments in history and how it changed our community. You don't even have to pay admission. It's right there at Innovation Gateway, and it is floor to ceiling. It will engulf you in the experience. And so when you think about storytelling, it is one of the most powerful things that humans do and have. It not only engages you intellectually, but it engages you from the heart, from the soul, in empathy. And that is the driver, essentially, of change and reflection and transformation. And it is a proven fact that a community that thrives is one that learns to reinvent itself. And so those stories will help us do that. You are the story. We are the keeper of the stories. And together, we have a magnificent opportunity for inspiration that leads to innovation throughout our generations. So we're just getting started at Innovation Gateway.
That's exciting. That is exciting. So we can come visit that this summer.
Absolutely.
What else do you have going on this summer?
We are super busy.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Give us the top line.
So I will tell you a couple of things. We are super excited about the farmers market.
Yes, that's a big win.
Yes, it begins June 25th. It'll be every Tuesday until September 17th. We will be open from 3 to 7 p.m. And we have, I think, 26 vendors, 27 vendors more or less. And you can get everything from fresh produce to candles and pottery and honey and I don't know, anything else that you might think of. But we also have something else that perhaps other farmers markets do not have. And that's education, because after all, that's what
you
we're
are.
about. And so we've got these wonderful partnerships with the Conservation Foundation, for example. And the Conservation Foundation is going to teach you Gardening 101. And then we have our partnership with OLI Gardens, and they will teach you composting and how it affects the environment. So there's a plethora of other learning opportunities. We're going to have some music as well from 4 to 7 p.m. And it is absolutely free.
Okay.
There is no cost to come to the farmers market.
That's okay. We're going to spend it all when we get there.
I hope so. I hope so. Can't be summer without neighbor nights. You know that. Right. But aside from that, we have walking tours for for architecture. We do also have them for agriculture, but cemetery tours, just a variety of really fun programs that you can do with your friends, say, before you decide to have dinner in downtown Naperville. And of course, the hidden secret is we have the Harvard Playscape. If you're tired of the places that, for example, might have those water features, but they're really populated, there's a lot of people there, come to Napier Settlement, because we've got the water feature, we've got the park, and we've got something that people don't have in other places, and that's education. Our museum educators are there to help the toddlers connect the creativity, the imagination, the critical thought as they're playing with the water. Also, absolutely free.
Well, it sounds like a lot for us to do coming to the museum. Lots of exciting things happening, and we thank you for all that you're doing on behalf of the community and telling the story.
It is always a pleasure, and it is an easy job when you absolutely love what you do. So thank you for having me, and as always, it's a pleasure to be with you.
And if you would like more information about Naples Settlement and the many things happening there this summer, please go and visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. We're coming right back with more Spotlight.
This is the Run My Own Business dream. This is the college is paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned.
We live in a safe community, but not a crime-free community. If you see something, say something. Be a Naperville Crime Stopper.
If you're just tuning in, you're watching Spotlight. I'm your host, Jane Wernette, and joining me now from the Three Fires Council, Scouting America, is Ron Wenzel. So good to have you on the show, Ron.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got lots of things to talk about, but I
Right.
think the big news starting off is we are no longer Boy Scouts of America. We're Scouting America. Now
Correct.
that's a name change, but I'm sure it has a lot more underneath that. So
Yeah.
give us some background and talk us through that.
Sure. So the first thing is that nothing about the program is changing.
Okay.
Our Scout Oath, Scout Law, our mission, our values, none of that is changing. It's a name change, and there were several reasons for it. As the organization has come out of our bankruptcy settlement, and as we've come out of COVID, we're trying to make sure that we grow our membership back to where it was before the pandemic. As we start to talk to the community and ask about the relevance of our program and what we maybe need to change, one thing we found out is we had a brand recognition problem. So when you look at just the Scout fleur-de-lis, the Scout brand, only about 4% of non-Scouters recognize the brand.
Wow.
And now when
Kind of shocking to me. Yes.
it was shocking to us. Yes, it caught our attention.
Yeah.
Now when we show people the uniform and then we talk about the values of Scouting, that's a little bit better. More people, over 60% recognize the uniforms as Scouts, and then our values align with American values and what people recognize our programs for. So this was part of the calculus where they looked at the brand and what it needed to be. This gave us an opportunity to relaunch the brand, and also we needed to be more open, more welcoming with the name and what we're trying to do. 5 years ago, we brought girls into our programs, and we've seen tremendous growth. Here locally, we've grown over 4.5% the last 2 years, and we're up to almost 13% of our overall membership now are girls in the program. But we still have a lot of work to do and a lot of room to grow. Probably the best way I can describe the name change was from a volunteer, and he was very active in Eagle Scout, and when he heard about the name change, he expressed some doubts about the name change and wanted to hold on to the nostalgia of our program and what his memories were. However, when he talked to his daughter, who just joined Cub Scouts, and he told her that they changed the name to Scouting America, his daughter's face lit up and said, now it's not for boys, just for boys anymore. It's
Love
for
that.
me too. So when you think of it in those terms and you understand what the kids are looking for and what it means to them, it makes all the sense in the world that we need to have a name that reflects our inclusivity, our values, and what we're trying to do with our program, which is to grow and expand our program.
Okay, that's amazing. What a great reaction,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
that's wonderful.
It's not just for boys anymore.
Yeah, that's good. Let's talk a little bit about, kind of the Three Fires Council. So I want to start first with, what does that include? What kind of geography does that include?
Yeah, the Three Fires Council is we serve 4 counties. We cover DuPage, Kane, Kendall, DeKalb counties, small parts of Will and Cook counties where some of the school districts go into those counties. But overall, we serve around 8,000 kids in those 4 counties.
Okay, that's a lot. And so what are you doing as a council to really promote the programming that Scouting is now putting forward?
Yeah, we are out trying to grow the program every day. We have only about 2.5% of the overall market of kids, and we need to grow that. And the reason is we know from a new study, a research study that was conducted by the Harris poll this year, is that 98% of our alumni say that Scouting positively impacted their lives, and it gave them an edge over their friends and colleagues to prepare them to be better citizens, better employees, better parents. And what we call it is the Scouting Edge. That survey basically looked at, the positive impacts that Scouting has on our Scouts. And we also found in that survey that non-Scouts see those same things. So developing character, developing leadership.
Okay.
And our program values align with American values. They are what the public, the community are looking for. So as we go and talk to the community, we want them to know that if your kids join our program, they're going to have an edge in life. They're going to have the Scouting edge and be better prepared for jobs and college and whatever else life brings them in the future. And we just think that's so important, and we want to bring the program to as many kids as we can. We are open to all kids, and that's what we do every day, but especially here in the fall. So as we prepare for our fall recruitment campaign, we start to visit schools and visit festivals and different events, back to school events as we get closer to school, and we'll promote our programs. And that's when we do all of our sign-up nights, and kids will start to join and get to do the fun activities in Scouting.
We're going to switch topics. Popcorn. I'm hungry. I don't know about you. But why is popcorn relevant to the Scouts?
Well, popcorn is near and dear to my heart. I've been involved in it for 26 years here in the Three Fires Council. It obviously helps support our units and then helps support our council financially. But what the thing we don't talk to the kids about a lot is the lessons that they learn when they go out and sell. They stand in front of a store or they go door to door, and they have to give us a sales pitch to adults. They have to interact with adults. They have to look them in the eye. They maybe shake their hand, and they have to deal with money and do the things that will prepare them. Again, it goes back to giving them an edge in life, and it's those little skills that we're teaching them while we're participating in different programs and selling popcorn, but preparing them for life.
I love that. I love that. I love it when they come, because I make them do the whole spiel when they come to my door.
And when they get good at it too, they really hone in on the more expensive products, and that becomes their favorite product. They get very good at it.
Yes, we always end up with, and then we have to figure out how we're going to eat our way through all of that. But love it. Love that they do that. That's great. This January, you were named now, it's the Scout Executive of the Three Fires Council. I've had the pleasure of meeting you before you took that job. Talk a little bit about what you're most excited about in that new position, Ron.
Yeah, I've worked for the council for 26 years, so I've been in a lot of different positions, and I feel blessed to take over as the Scout Executive for the Three Fires Council. We have some of the best volunteers around the country. We have a great staff. We have great families. They are dedicated to the mission of Scouting and growing our program. And that's just been so wonderful for me to step into a role and already have that much support. And then as I've stepped into the role, there's things that I want to make sure that we do and change. A lot more community engagement is one of the things that I've pushed our board to do. We're looking at a council-wide Scouting for Food drive next year. We haven't done that in a while. We've done very local ones and we've helped out, but we want to do a larger effort in February, March timeframe. We're looking at a community-wide youth protection summit next year, where we would engage law enforcement, coaches, teachers, anyone that's working with kids, and how we can better safeguard our kids. And we've learned a lot in our past through the Scouting world And we want to share those lessons, and we want to be part of the solution to help protect our kids. And then we're looking at mental health. That's a huge issue for our kids. As we deal with it in Scouts, we're trying to better equip all of our leaders now so that they can recognize warning signs and help their kids get the help that they need. So those are some of the community engagement efforts that we'll start to do, and I'm really excited about that. Those are things that we want to do, we know are important to the community, and just looking forward to growing the program and seeing all the happy kids as they work through our program.
I think that's great. Well, you certainly bring the energy to it. I'm sure it's going to be terrific under your leadership. We wish you the best. We love the new name, and keep us posted on how things go.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And to find out more about the Three Fires Council, please go and visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. We're coming right back.
This is the Run My Own Business dream. This is the colleges paid for dream. This is the retire early dream. This is Busey, where your dreams and possibilities become moments through trusted guidance and expertise, through lifelong relationships. Because we're here to help you achieve the life you've always envisioned.
Welcome back to Spotlight. And joining me now from the Alive Center are two members of the Teen Advisory Board. So welcome to the show. We're going to start right out with you, Ayush. Talk a little bit about the mission and goals of this Teen Advisory Board.
Yeah, so the Teen Advisory Board is a teen-led, teen-driven kind of program, you could kind of call it, where students, as part of this board, are trying to create programs for other students in the community, trying to give back to the community in any way they can, kind of utilizing the Life Center and the resources that they have there. So it's really about giving back to the community and kind of creating programs for other students to be involved in.
Okay. How many people are on the board?
Currently, there's about, I believe, 20 students.
That's a good number.
It's a really good number, yeah. So, so there's a good amount of kind of diverse kind of group of students there. I'm ready to get involved in the community, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, you're the president this year, so congratulations on that. So tell us a little bit about some of the programs that you've actually done and gotten involved in.
So we have a lot of camps that are run through members on our board, but we also volunteer on a lot of other outside organizations. So our most recent one was Tulips for Teens. That was in downtown Naperville. That was a program that was to help out the city of Naperville to plant tulips and just like have a fun time with the community. And then we also have like a mentoring program at the Alive Center. So we have younger kids that can come in and just ask questions to older kids about anything about their personal life, academic life, so anything that they need to help them.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're kind of, it sounds like you've got kind of this community outreach piece that you're doing with like things like the tulips.
Yeah.
So it would be, are you looking for, are those coming on things that you guys are deciding on, or are other people also coming to you and asking you to get engaged?
Both. So
Okay.
we have people reach out to us as the Alive Center and say, do you have any volunteers? And a lot of them come from our board, but they don't have to.
Okay.
We have a lot of people that are not on the board, but are still involved with the Alive Center, and they volunteer too. So we have that, and then we make our own through all of our members on our board.
Okay, and does it represent all of the high schools and junior highs? So talk to me a little bit about who would be, when you talked about 20 members, right? Who's on the board?
Yeah, I mean, we have kids from all over. So I'm from North. I know we have a lot of people from Nequa, IMSA, there's a couple of people, Wabanzi, just all around the area.
Okay.
And for the Live Center in Naperville, we have people more in this area, but we have a Live Center Aurora, Hanover Park, so it's very around the area.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Ayush, talk a little bit about what you're doing, and you talked about it up front about the teen-driven, teen-led. How does this board kind of fit within the overarching goals of the Alive Center?
Yeah, so Life Center's overarching goal is to kind of create centers, teen-led, teen-driven centers for students in the community to find a safe place to come, whether it be after school or if their parents are working, there's a place for them to be able to kind of hang out, meet new people. And so the advisory board kind of handles a lot of like the kind of outreach of that, creating programs, different summer camps, whether it be or after school programs, where students can kind of join those, learn new things, kind of get involved. We also have a lot of fundraising that goes on because the Life Center is obviously a nonprofit. So a lot of the programs that Amar was talking about, where that was like the tulips at the Naperville, we kind of take those donations and we as a teen advisory board will kind of help collect those donations and kind of do the work and be able to kind of reach out to communities to get those donations. So
Okay. And just for those that don't know, where are you located?
So currently, Life Center actually has 3 locations. So as Amar mentioned, we have our Naperville location where me and Amar are from, but then there's also a location in Aurora and Hanover Park. Right across from Naperville North, actually we have a really good relationship with the district, and I believe there are buses that actually drop off students after school who kind of come to the Life Center. So there's buses that come from the different middle schools, elementary schools to the Life Center.
So, kind of following up on that, Ayush, you talked a little bit about, elementary, middle, obviously you guys are in high school. If I'm being dropped off on the bus, I'm a 5th grader, I walk to the door, what am I going to expect? Give me a typical experience as I come to the Alive Center.
Yeah, so when you walk in, if it's your first time, you obviously have to get registered with the system. But once that kind of go through that process, you come in, say your name to the front desk, they log you in, and then you kind of have a lot of options of what you can do. So they have something called drop-in hours, where there's multiple staff from either local community colleges, stuff like that, where you can there's different activities that they're hosting, whether that be like an art workshop or playing, I guess, like baseball, and there's like a big area you can play like baseball, stuff like that. So it's just like meeting other students that are there. You can just kind of do what you want to do, whether you can do your homework if you want. They have snacks, so different things like that. So it's very open to what you can really do. It's just a space where you can come, feel safe, feel like you belong, and just do what you want, yeah.
So structured and unstructured stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think that's helpful just to kind of get a little bit of a sense of what that looks like. So talk a little bit, Amar, about in terms of providing opportunities for young people to kind of grow. I mean, we talk about teen-driven, teen-led, which is part of developing those leadership skills, right? And that kind of builds that whole sense of empowerment. How do you feel like that helps in terms of then giving back to the community, being a contributing member of the community?
I think the opportunities that we are given to lead a camp, actually, if you're on the board, it's mandatory that you lead at least one camp. So I think through leading a camp and being your own marketer, I feel like, because if you are in charge of running a camp, you are the one to send out flyers, right? Talk to local teachers, maybe from old middle schools like that. So I think going through that whole process lets me develop my leadership skills and reaching out to people who would not have known about it otherwise. So.
Okay, it's kind of got to get in there and do it.
Right.
Yeah. Talk about you, Ayush. Well, what do you feel like you're learning and gaining from this experience?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just kind of being able to go out there and find who you are, I guess, as a person. And for me, I was very focused on STEM, but I really found myself at the Life Center being able to teach my passion for STEM to other students, and whether that be creating interactive lessons, and being really creative in the way that I teach to younger students. That understanding was really a huge thing. And also, as Amar said, the communication part is really big. Not only are you teaching other students about different topics and things like that, but you're reaching out to people in the community to ask for advice on how to do this, or what's the best way to teach, asking a teacher for advice, or just marketing yourself and your camp and what you are doing. I think those were really big for me as I was going through high school and kind of finding who I was.
Okay, and as we close up, you're as the president, what is the one thing you want people to know about the board?
That everything that we do is we are prioritizing being involved in our community and having our community have a positive experience when they come to us. So anything that we organize or even that we're talking about within ourselves, it's always community is our number one priority.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, you're going to inherit the community as you get
Yeah.
older. So we're super glad that you're putting so much time and energy into it now. So thank you for both coming by, for the work that you're doing there. I'm sure you're terrific mentors to the people coming behind you. So, and for more information about the Alive Center, please go and visit their website. I'd like to thank all of my guests for joining us on Spotlight, and our friends at Busey Bank for their generous sponsorship of today's show. To learn more about the organizations featured on this episode, please visit our website at nctv17.org. And to stay informed about what's happening in our community, sign up to receive our daily news update and like and follow us on social media. For Spotlight, I'm Jane Wernette. Thank you for watching.
This Spotlight is brought to you by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank.